Guess who's back again? With a quick review of Rob Zombie's The Munsters. Ooh. Boy, oh boy, let me tell you something. I grew up in the 1980s watching reruns of the black and white Munsters TV show starring Fred Frigwin, and I highly enjoyed that show. And I also watched the reboot of the Munsters TV show that was the color version that they made during the 1980s. I watched both versions of them, and I always enjoyed that TV show. Now, I don't know enough about the Munsters to know it exactly like the back of my hand, but I can tell you that it was a fun show, and it was very delightful to me as a young little child. When I saw the trailer for Rob Zombie's The Munsters, number one, I was happy that Rob Zombie was doing something different. You know, he's still doing within his wheelhouse and things that are kind of associated with his interests like monsters and goblins and all that kind of thing. So I thought that was cool. But I like the fact that he got away from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre homage, you know, kind of grindhouse gory kind of thing. Which, look, Devil's Rejects is awesome. I love the Devil's Rejects, you know, and you know, nobody crucified me, but I even like his remake of Halloween. I'm not saying it's good, but I just say I like it, you know. That being said, this is a fun movie. It's really a fun movie. I know people were bashing the trailer and it looks so horrible. I totally disagree. I didn't think the trailer looked horrible at all. I actually really liked what I saw in that trailer. I've always been a stickler for kind of, because I've heard people say, oh, it looks low budget, it looks cheap, it looks horrible. Listen to me, I like all types of films, so I like the big budget Top Gun Maverick movies, and then I like little tiny little YouTube shorts. I like any kind of medium of a story being told on film. But I used to really like a lot of those Disney movies that used to come on back then, like Halloween Town and things like that. And this Rob Zombie movie is very similar to something like that, like a Halloween Town Disney movie from the early 2000s. It looks very similar to that, and I viewed the film in that sense. I thought it was really fun. I thought the actors did a really good job. They were hamming it up. You know, people like to bash Sherry Moon. I could maybe say the performance could have did a slight tweak, just a little bit, but I thought she was good here. You know, and the gentleman who plays Herman Munster, I forget the gentleman's name, but I didn't realize he was the dude who got his head bashed in Halloween 2 outside of the dancing Red Rabbit place in that movie. I had no idea that was the same guy. He did a really good job. The colors in this movie are absolutely immaculate. Like, I don't know Rob Zombie's music like the back of my hand, but I'm familiar with seeing his shows and stuff as I was coming up, and it looks just like one of his stage shows. It literally feels like you're at a haunted house at Universal Studios. The colors are so bold and they're so kind of over the top. It's just a beautiful movie to look at. I love it, in the fog and people coming out the doors and the graveyard. I love every single minute. It's like eye candy to watch this thing. I mean, it's serious. I just loved it. Loved just the way it looked and the costumes, and it was literally just fun to look at. I just love the way it looked. The jokes were funny. Now I ain't gonna say all of them hit, but I thought a lot of them were pretty funny, man. There was one in particular that I think there was one where like they went to I think it was where they go to Paris. I think it was where they went to Paris. I can't remember. But I think they went to Paris or something like that, and everybody saw them and busted out and started screaming. I really thought that was genuinely funny. It was quite hysterical. Like it was so funny, man. And there was this other thing. They went to this neighborhood, and you know they're actually monsters, and they're looking. You guys got to see the movie, but it was actually pretty fun. My gripe is that, first of all, it's too long. This movie, I think, is an hour and 49 minutes, almost an hour and 50 minutes. That is entirely too long for this. This movie, in my personal opinion, should have been 82 minutes at the longest. Like 82 minutes max was as long as this movie should have been. Maybe if we pushed it a little bit farther, 90 minutes. But it should have been 80 to 90 minutes. It was too long, way too long. I get Rob Zombie. He has a very kind of aggressive way with the way he has his actors perform, which fits his tone. You know, when Rob Zombie, I've seen him perform, and he's serious. Dude is aggressive when he's on that stage. He's a very calm dude, but when he brings out that id, he goes full on. You know, and he kind of has his actors perform like that too. And I think there was a couple scenes where they shout and they scream, and funny thing, I'm not gonna digress too far, but went to get my oil changed, right? So anyway, there was some kind of thing, some kind of whoop-de-doo where it was backed up, and it took like 2 hours to get my oil changed. I know, an oil change. I had to sit there like all day on my day off, but whatever. Anyway, it had to be done. But anyway, so I was watching the Munsters on my Netflix thing, because I was just kind of like, I didn't see myself watching it at the house. So anyway, I was watching it on my phone. It was funny. There was this woman probably could have been old enough to be my mom. She was at least somewhere in her mid-70s, and like, you know, the thing with him going and all the screaming and the shouting, and I could kind of see her kind of start to kind of go like what am I watching? And you know, and I had to like kind of turn down because my headphones, they stopped working for some reason, but I was like, I still want to watch this movie because I'm only gonna watch it right now while I gotta wait here. And there's one scene where the dad goes, "Why are you shouting?" And that was kind of the way I felt too, like, okay, enough is enough. You don't have to shout and scream. I get it sometimes, but after a while, it was like, all right, man, hey, quiet down, bring it down. But really, honestly, aside from those gripes, I thought it was a fun time, and I really honestly think, you know, people have their feelings about Rob Zombie. I've always liked him as a person in his interviews. I like the fact that he's just uncut and he is who he is, and he does not give two cares about it. And I always love that about Rob Zombie. He seems like a cool dude to just talk to, you know? That being said, I think people are too tough on Rob Zombie. I kind of feel like he's kind of unfairly bashed, I think. I really think he was unfair, and I think this trailer was unfairly judged. And the movie is fun. I had a good time. I just think you just have to be into this kind of goofy monster kind of stuff to really enjoy it. If you're not really into that, you know, or into the bold colors and the silly performances, then I really think you won't like it. You know, but if you're into it and you're much more of a relaxed kind of viewer, I think you'll enjoy this film. So I think for those who are those people, those viewers, go check it out. So if you guys like to bash Rob Zombie for no reason, even before you watch the dang on movie, why don't you watch The Bridges of Madison County? RMJ Movie Reviews. I'm gonna be back for more fun, y'all. See you soon.